Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans. 4 years. 4 years of this podcast. Today, Ringside crew, we are doing the 4-year anniversary. So today is our 4-year anniversary. When this episode airs, is the 4-year anniversary of the, come on, crank it up, Joe. Shoulder hurts a little bit for all the shoveling. But on the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast, I am Joe, Panther III. I've done that about hundreds and hundreds of times. 3 times, originally just Junior. But today, Ringside crew, this is March 18th, 4-year anniversary. You thought maybe I would have Foxy, but things happen. But today I am here with a young, a superstar that we had on the podcast before. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside podcast for my guest. Welcome back to Dudes at Ringside. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes, and this is the 4-year anniversary, man.
Yeah.
And actually, I can say this. It's kind of sad. You are the first Boston wrestler to come back on the podcast since, like, I don't even know, for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I need some of that Boston flair back, man.
Gotta love New England.
Yeah, you guys bring I've said it to like some wrestlers from the other states, like Boston really has a lot of stars that they bring out, like you, Becca, LMK, Mr. Price.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just like there's names on top of names on top of names that have like come out of the thing. So this being part 2 of the podcast and the anniversary of Dudes at Ringside, if my fans from the UK that watch this podcast are not familiar with you, and what would they not be? Introduce yourself.
So I am the suplex sweetheart Isana. I wrestle in mostly New England, though I have done some traveling. I obviously, by my moniker, my signature move is pick a suplex, any suplex, and I will do it. My catchphrase is I pick people up and I put them down firmly. So I've been wrestling. It's kind of funny because March 18th is 2 days after my anniversary of wrestling. So I've been wrestling for 9 years now. So it's, yeah.
Wow. That's so funny. Our anniversaries of the podcast and your wrestling career, like kind of like, even though we didn't have you on till like what was like the middle of your career, I think pretty much.
Yeah. It was about the middle of the career because it was 2021 or 2, I think we did.
Yeah, 2021, I think.
Yeah,
we would have been starting earlier, but if I didn't have a Mac that was like having like on and off issues, like you would turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. It would have started around the beginning of 2020 or middle of 2020. But I was scared because I was like, I don't want to be in the middle of a podcast and my computer just goes.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
But like, hey, cell phone, hi, hey guys, what's up? Like,
I'm back.
I'm back for like how long? I don't know. My phone may die. But what have you been up to since the last time we were in the studios? That's 2021, I guess.
Yeah, since 2021. I have been I've been kind of just chilling, really. Like obviously wrestling. I've been working on honing my craft. I've joined a new training facility, which has been wonderful for everything. Now I'm training at the Lockup Academy or Lockup Pro Wrestling Academy in Fall River, Mass. And that's been a wonderful experience. Training under like Bob Evans, who is very well known all across the country at this point. And Ilya Markopoulos, who is absolutely wonderful, great trainer, really chill but concise, which is perfect for what I like. So that's been really good. So kind of honing my craft. Been wrestling. I'm doing a lot of stuff coming up in Maine soon, so that we could definitely talk about that a little bit. And I was doing some stuff down in New Jersey for a while. That company that I was working with hasn't really run in a hot minute, but mostly due to the fact that one of the promoters had a kid, and that kind of reprioritized his life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, I've just been wrestling all across New England, trying to regain some steam. And yeah, trying to make year 9 and year 10 really good, and then we'll see what happens from there, because I'm no spring chicken anymore. I'm not getting any younger, so we'll see what happens after year 10. That might be my last year, might not. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, wrestling can be a tough game. Like it sounds crazy to say I watch a lot of the stuff, the older wrestlers, and they slowly start to dwindle out. Like you think that they're gonna last forever, but it's like that metal and that wood under that rug that you guys get thrown on for our entertainment. That's why I always say all you wrestlers are stars to me. Like everybody. Doesn't matter how long ago you guys had been on this podcast. I idolize you guys because you guys could get thrown around. I have to work like if I was a wrestler, I work with senior citizens in a nursing home because I know they all would be like, Joseph, what happened to you? Why do you have a black eye? Why do you have 2 black eyes? I accidentally didn't tap my hand and I fell into a pole. Like,
I'm working right now with a very busted finger.
mm,
I don't know if you can see the bruise, but
oh,
took a drop kick to the finger directly, and so yeah, it's a painful sport, but it's a full contact sport. That's a guarantee. I invariably, every match I leave with at least a couple bruises, and sometimes worse. So luckily I haven't broken anything, knock on wood, but but
jeez.
it's definitely been a very painful, like I forgot if I think it was after we did the podcast in 2021, but I hurt my back real bad. I took a belly to back suplex, and I landed on the person's arm,
Mm,
and he was a big beefy dude, so my spine kind of did this.
no.
And so I had a bulging disc for a while. Almost needed surgery, but we managed to just do PT, and I took some time off. I took like 6 months off from wrestling and let it heal. And now I'm back, and for a while I wasn't able to do suplexes
Mhm.
because while it was healing, like I took some time off. I was wrestling still and ended up having to take the time off. But in that interim, before I took the time off to heal fully, I was trying to keep going, and I couldn't suplex people because it hurt too much. My back was too messed up. So I eventually I was forced to take some time off, and then I came back, and now I'm back to throwing people around a ring and beating people up. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. That's that's so crazy because like it's sad at the same time. Like you you had to take a break from like doing the thing you love, suplexing and wrestling. So what kind of rehab did you have to do to get your back to like normal?
So there was a lot of work on like core strength. My core was pretty good already, but we really had to focus on core strength in order to kind of pull the back into alignment. So I did PT for about 6 months, with a lot of just strengthening exercises, a lot of massage, like spinal massage and stuff, to try and get everything back. I ended up getting a chiropractor, which was a brilliant choice. I think every professional wrestler needs a chiropractor because sometimes you just got to pry your head out of your spine when you land on it, which I am very good at doing. I tend to turn things into drivers that aren't supposed to be drivers. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely recommend a chiropractor to everyone. So between just all the medical intervention and just being really focused on my fitness, I was able to kind of get my back into alignment, and that was my saving grace.
Yeah. So what is it like what is your normal training regimen like the week of a show?
So every week I'm obviously in the gym. I have my own gym in my basement, which is great because I don't have to share it with broccoli-headed 19-year-olds hogging the benches.
Hashtag
So
broccoli-headed teen. Like, I need to hashtag that in.
please. But yeah, it's great because the hardest part of the working out is getting downstairs. I'm like, all right, I got to get downstairs, get off my bed, go work out. Come on, get moving. And then once I'm down there, I have like a squat rack and deadlift set up and bench press and everything. So I'm working out all the time. Week of a show is honestly pretty much the same, although I will kind of rearrange and maybe do legs earlier in the week, so that way my legs aren't on fire when it's time to wrestle. But also training, usually Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll be in class, just cleaning up all my fundamentals and making sure that I'm moving the way I should be. When it gets warmer, I'll usually go out for runs just to stay loose. It's a little harder to do that when it's freezing cold like it is right now. It's currently disgusting out. Um,
We have ice out right outside of my house in the Poconos right now. We had
yeah,
and my
it is.
parents had like scrape, and I was like, like I was doing a wrestling workout. I was like pushing ice with a yellow shovel across the lawn. Like,
Yeah, no, the running joke up here is that I don't shovel snow, I suplex it. So,
yeah,
um,
awesome. So, like, how many different color outfits do you have? Is it, or do you have like, is it hard to get the gear now? Like, I know there's a lot of like gear designers, but do you have a special person, or do you make your gear?
I actually work through a company called Cockatry Clothing that a lot of wrestlers use. They have like the options aren't as vast for customization. But I do a lot of like custom color combinations. I actually just ordered 2 new sets yesterday, a purple and green set and a pink and green set. And then underneath that I wear usually like the same singlet type thing and like I always have my thigh high socks. That's my signature look. So but yeah, it's great to be able to have. I have probably at this point like a dozen different types of gear maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or I will soon at least when this stuff ships. I have 3 that I've been rotating through right now, and then add another 3, and then I have 2 more. Yeah, so we'll say 8 sets right now.
Awesome. How do you normally keep them clean? Because I've seen Danny Moe put hers in a tub, and they clean.
Yeah, I don't use a tub. I use a sink, but definitely I would never throw it in the washing machine. Like my singlet is it's just like a bodysuit. It's not spandex, so that can go in the wash. But my gear is usually very shiny, and all the shine will come right off. So it's hand washed all the time. Usually the day before a show, you'll find me in the sink, washing all my gear that I plan on wearing, and anything that's going to be in the thing with it. So, but yeah, hand wash, usually just soap and water, and then a rinse. But you got to be gentle with it because you have like applique, shiny spandex, and you got to make sure that it's not going to fall apart. So you got to check all the seams and everything too.
Awesome. That sounds like a tutorial you need to do on your channel for like the kids that want to get gear. Like tutorial in the kitchen.
I mean, I've definitely seen some people that you can tell when people just throw their gear in the washing machine because like all their designs are falling apart, their threads are coming undone, and you're like, you threw that in the wash, didn't you?
You slipped after a show and said, ah.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's definitely it's kind of a religion.
Yeah.
Wrestling, so you gotta worship at the sink sometimes too and make sure your gear is clean. I mean, it's definitely a big thing. Like I've worked with some people that definitely didn't wash their gear, and boy was that stinky. So yeah, wash your gear. Wash your gear, please.
Wash your gear, wrestlers. Wash your gear, and fans wash them armpits too.
Yeah, wash them armpits, please. There's nothing worse than someone coming. Can we get a picture together? And they throw their arm over, and you're just like, whoa, okay. Yeah.
Did someone just leave the arm? Did someone just leave the onion patches?
Yeah, it can get raunchy at shows, especially some of the tighter venues. So
yeah, I had one experience in PPW, which I love them. I would definitely suggest you come there because they have a really awesome Sammy Chaos as their women's champion.
Chaos.
You should definitely try to come out to PPW this year. They have
I definitely will definitely see if I can do that.
I want to meet you. I want to be able to take that cool, and I will be wearing deodorant. I smell nice when it comes to shoes. Some of the rest shoes, I know English. Stop it, Joe. You know English. It's your anniversary. Don't embarrass yourself. But I always come smelling nice. I always wear my blue coat or my green jacket, and I wear cologne. I'm always not too much. I don't want to be like a Guido and be like, hold on, I'm 5 minutes dead. But I smell nice. I always have my head shaved, and I'm always like really looking really nice. Sometimes I'll bring my microphone just in case I feel like maybe, and the rest will be up for it. But I never can find a corner. They drop and get an interview because everybody's standing and music is always playing in this place. And they have a brewery in the place too.
Ooh, I like that.
They have their own in-house brewery.
Nice.
It's forgot the name of the brewery, but it's in-house. It's in the corner. You can go over there, get you ready, sign in, and you just go over and get a beer and just chill. And like we're at the show. Good people, nice crowd. It's in the Slatington Expo Center in Pennsylvania. And I would say I'm almost gonna say Milford, but I live in Milford, so it's Slatington, Pennsylvania. It's in an expo building, so it's a big building. It's not like a little tiny building. But the one experience I had, me and my dad were at the show. We sat ringside like we always do, and this guy and his son, the dad kept farting, like. So me and my dad like quickly like yeet back to the last row, and like my dad is Puerto Rican, like I am. At Puerto Rican, and my dad's an ex-cop, so the cop's not gonna like calmly go, he smells like fart. He'd be like, yo man, why you farting? Like really loud Brooklyn boy.
Oh boy.
CO coming out of him. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm about to get kicked out of people. Looking around like I'm about to get kicked out of this bitch. It's over.
No.
My reputation is done. Okay, just take the banner down. Sorry, baby Slimer, we got to find you a new home. Joe's getting kicked out of every wrestling promotion in the East Coast except for Boston because I've never been to Boston for a wrestling show, and I've always wanted to come out. I heard it's really good, and the crowd's really cool. And I met a female fan from Boston that she came on the podcast in February named Brittany, and she's like really, really popular in the Britain. She's really big fan of Price.
Yeah, she's definitely a super fan. I've never met her, but I've absolutely heard of her.
Yes, she's a nice girl. She wanted to come on the podcast, but in my head I was like, "But you're a fan." But then I'm like, Joe, fans have cool stories. Now they find the show, like
yeah.
But for you, like, what is like your normal time frame for the day of a show? Like, what time do you normally like leave the house?
It depends on obviously where it is. For some of the local shows that are like an hour away, I'll try to leave by like 3 or 4. And also depends on what time the show starts. Like if it's a later show, like a Friday night show, I can usually get away with leaving at like 5 o'clock. Sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock. And then, but like some of the main shows, that's an all day affair, where I'm driving for 5 hours before I'm even getting to the venue, 2 hours before showtime, to like get set up and everything. So, I have 2 main shows coming up on March 8th and then March 15th, back-to-back main trips. So, that's going to be an intense opening to my month. But for those, and they're both up in like the Bangor Brewer area. So I'm going to be leaving at like probably 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, to get up there in time.
Do you know like how you can get tickets? Because if I have any fans in Boston watching this episode, if they want to buy a ticket, do you know how they can get a ticket?
I believe both of the shows, their ticketing is through Eventbrite. But I usually just point people to the Facebook events because that's the easiest way to get all the details. I believe the March 8th show is Phoenix Pro Wrestling. And that's going to be in Brewer at the Brewer Auditorium. And then March 15th is Main Premier Wrestling, and that is going to be in Old Town at their Parks and Rec Center. So definitely worth a shot looking up those shows. Those would be pretty far from Boston at this point. That's still a 4-hour drive. And then I do have a couple other shows. I have a show in Dedham, which is really close to Massachusetts, really close to Boston, on the 21st of March. And that, I believe the tickets are sold through the ncw.com website, Northeast Championship Wrestling. And those, or you can just show up. It's at the Johnson Jones VFW. And you just show up, and there's usually tickets to the door and walking tacos and a really good show.
That other thing about the Slatington, they have a food court there, and they have gyros, pizza.
Ooh, I love
They have
gyros.
Mexican food. I've eaten the gyro food multiple times. They just opened another stand that has like sandwiches, and I seen a sign that said Philly cheesesteaks, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go for my Greek salad, and I totally failed, like faceplant, and I didn't finish the salad. I had to finish it the next day.
Oh,
But
wow.
I'm gonna get the Philly cheesesteak next time because I was so in the mood for a Philly cheesesteak, and I was just like,
Nope, gotta get the
Philly
salad.
cheesesteak. I should get that salad. Got to be healthy-ish.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever run into like a conundrum, like getting a like a meal, like after the show, or do you bring something with you so you hold yourself over?
I usually do keep some snacks in my gear bag at all times, just in case. Because it can be tough, especially for some of the later shows. You get out, and like the only thing available is fast food, which I try not to eat much of. But sometimes Taco Bell just wins. But sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere and there is nothing open. Sometimes it's just so late that nothing's open. And sometimes you just don't have the time. Like especially like the main shows, if I'm doing it there and back, I don't want to be wasting time eating, at a sit down restaurant like a Denny's or what have you. I wish we had Waffle House up here, but we don't.
Oh yes,
I would kill for a Waffle House up here.
but some fights though.
Yeah. That's a rite of passage, I think, that I've still have yet to achieve is getting booked somewhere where there's a Waffle House. So
Another place that you should definitely look into coming is Smash Masters Wrestling. They're out of Slatington.
Yep.
And I mean Scranton, PA.
Yep.
And there's here we go. This is gonna make you happy. Your eyes are gonna get really wide and you're gonna smile. There is a Waffle House in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
It's the closest one to me. Yes, I've heard of this storied Waffle House, and actually Smash Master is on my list of places to check out. I got to meet some of their guys at a show in usually they hold them in Braintree, but this time it was in, I forgot which town, but Focus Pro, and some of their guys came up to help us with the ring, which was great because we were vastly underhanded there. And I also obviously Mike Skyros is a friend of mine. He wrestles down there. And Adina Steele, who just recently I don't know if she took time off or retired entirely, but
I think someone said she retired.
Yeah.
Anthony Bacco Jr. said she retired. I that's another woman that I have so much respect for. And I met her in person, and that woman has a smile that will, if you're mad and she just smiles at you and you're just like,
not mad anymore.
Not anymore. She saw me and she's like, "Hi, Joe. Oh my God." And I'm like, "Yeah."
I love her. Yeah, she's an absolute sweetheart. Absolutely adore her.
She told my dad, she was like, I'm like, "We just need 2 tickets. That's all." And she went like this. The guys, I got it. And she went like this. The tickets are right there. Like, she just walked away all like,
oh yeah, lots of sass on that one.
She knew. She's like, the Panther family is getting in this door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miss Steele respects the Panther. Respects the Griff, because I was wearing the blue jacket that day with the little shine, the silver shine. So I think my not Griff. What's the word? Oh my God, the kids are using it. I told them I have the Riz. I have Riz.
Yeah,
I guess.
There is.
I got told because a girl walked in the break room of my job, and I had my head down. All I did was this, and she did this. Oh my God, Joe! And she walked up and I put her arm to my shoulders and she hugged me and then she sat down and said, beep, 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 beep. And she walked out. I walked in the kitchen. This girl was like, I just want to say something to you, Joe. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what did I do? And she's like, no, nothing. You always do that. And I'm like, what did I do? And she's like, Joe, you have Riz. You don't even realize it. You're just such a nerd. You're just like, you just did this.
Yeah.
And you must have lit her heart up or made her a little bit of hope in her heart that maybe someone likes her. And she went from angry to happy in 2.9 seconds. I was just like, what? I did that too. Why can't this happen anywhere else when girls I think they're cute? Like, why? Every other girl that wants to throw me through a table and light it on fire as I'm on the table and then throw me into the river as I'm on fire and Viking funeral as Joe floats away.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I always tell the girls that they're mean to me. I said, just remember this. You may think I'm annoying, but I have muscle mommies that will break you in half. How many, Joe? How many the girl says, how many girlfriends do you have, Joe? I said, I have way too many muscle mommies. Now I think I got you. I have Mad America's Sweetheart as my muscle mommy. I got Becca. I got a crazy one. I told him I have a crazy one that wears a dress that doesn't have an abbreviated name, just LMK. I got Mother Endless that will beat them with a kendo stick if they knew you are mean to Joe. I will break your back.
Yeah.
You didn't have to sound mad. You just be like, I will kill you with one finger. Be like, thanks, Mother. Thank you, Mother Endless. When I message her, I don't even say, hey, Mother Endless. I just say, hi, Mom. Hi, Mother.
Aww.
She's like, but yeah, you said you have that show coming up, and like, what is it like? Did you ever look back at your like original matches and then look at your new stuff and be like, wow, I didn't take that from. You ever take stuff from your old matches and try to bring them to like your new matches? Any moves?
Sometimes, yeah. I actually keep lists of some of the stuff I do. Because sometimes I'll forget. I'll just be like, oh right, I do that sometimes, or oh right, I can do that. So like I'll just go through the list and be like, maybe I'll try busting out this tonight. And definitely like I honestly avoid watching most of my old matches because it can be painful because I'm like, wow, I was not great. But I was just starting off, so that makes sense. But sometimes it is good to go back just to see how far I've progressed as a wrestler and really see how much more coherent things are and the new cool stuff that I can do. And I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I can do that now. And like I tried doing that 10 years ago. Well, obviously not 10, but 5 years ago, and it didn't work, and now I'm able to do that sort of thing. So that's really cool to see.
Awesome. In closing, if my fans want to pick up any merch or anything of yours, is there anywhere they could find it?
Yes, I currently have a store. You can find it through my link tree if you go to any of my social media, which is Isana_baby. So ISANA_BABY. That's my Instagram and my Twitter. You should be able to find my link tree, and that has links to my Amazon wish list. It has links to my store. It has links to all my other social media. So if you find one, you can find them all. The only odd one out is my Facebook. Facebook is Isana Alron, which was a last name that I was toying with, and I kind of dropped it just for Isana, but it was already on my Facebook. So Alron is ALROU AL. I can never spell it without thinking about it. ALRAUN. There we go.
It makes me think of Key and Peele when he's telling the kids how to say their name.
Yeah.
Iron, you late for class again? I'm right here. No, you're not answering your name. That's all I can think is when you were spelling it. All I can think is
I can never spell it right. That's one of the reasons I dropped it, because I can never spell my own last name right. But it but just looking up Isana on Instagram, on Facebook rather, will pull me up. So
Before we go, is there any like, if you have any advice for any younger inspiring wrestlers that are just getting into this, what kind of advice would you have for them?
I would tell anyone that wants to get into this business to have tenacity. Tenacity, I think, is the most important thing to becoming a wrestler. Like, if you really, really want to be a wrestler, you're gonna do anything to become a wrestler, and you kind of need to do anything to become a wrestler. There's a lot of ups and downs in wrestling. There's a lot of emotional highs and a lot of really, really bad lows, and you got to kind of just stay the course through all of that. You can't get discouraged. Also, strength training is huge. Like, it is totally okay to be strong, especially female wrestlers. Be strong. Be hella strong. Get in the gym, pick up heavy shit. Get as strong as you can, and then you can throw the boys around, and that's really fun. So
awesome. Isana, I want to thank you so much for coming back on the podcast, and thank you for coming here to help me celebrate 4 years of Dudes. 4 next year. I can't wait to do this.
Yeah.
4 years. Please spread the word to all your Boston wrestling friends, because tell them you're the first one to come back on the podcast. Even if you see LMK, be like, girl, you have not been on Dudes at Ringside in a while. It's a lot different now.
Yeah.
A lot more laid back. It's like we're at the bar, except here's your 4-year beer. Here you go, girl. Here's your anniversary. One of a kind Boston, like Joe giving you who knows what's in this drink, because Joe likes to drink random shit. I could go from angry motherfuckers to like the angry car bombs, the one that bought the car bomb drink.
Yep. Haven't had one of those in a minute.
Oof. I did that once with my friends, but all right. I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Isana.
And we will catch you in the next one.